Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game PCG123 going up against Sock. Let's go ahead and let's fix the colors here. Undead versus human. Alright, PCG123 spawning as the blue undead on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Sock spawning as the yellow human on the bottom left. Let's go ahead and get to this 2-minute mark. See what heroes are going to be brought out. Crypt, Altar of Darkness. Doesn't look like any Tavern heroes will be trained up, at least not for those that initial position. Archmage going up against a Lich. So PCG123 opting to go for a Lich first, and with Lich first and that Rod of Necromancy, you can always open things up with Dark Ritual second, allowing that Lich to have plenty of mana. Alright, Lich making its way down out across the battlefield. Archmage trying to make its way, well, Stag in the middle of the field. Well, quickly needed to get taken out as we see Kobold Tunnelers and Kobold Geomancers. Quick, a Water Elemental trying to get into position, getting away from the Kobold Tunnelers and Taskmasters, allowing the Water Elemental to do its thing, absorb a whole bunch of damage, while allowing the Militia and the Footmen to finish off all of the remaining units. Archmage may be able to, maybe setting up an expo here. Kobold Taskmaster finally taking down Archmage, gets a Pendant of Energy, and should be dropping a second Water Elemental here to try and help defend. Meanwhile, all of these peasants are going to have a very, very bad day. Where's that second Water Elemental? Not quite sure why it isn't being dropped. When you see the ghouls and so many other units out here, having that Water Elemental just helps out tremendously. A little bit of pressure being pushed back the other way, more Militia being called over, and well, once you place down that Water Elemental, you should be looking to actually, are we going to see a deny there? Nope. Nope, no deny. Archmage now still fighting its way through. Water Elemental getting a little bit of that splash damage across these units. Water Elemental still poking here. And the Archmage, oddly enough, is not sticking around close to all of these ghouls, allowing the Water Elementals to get in some extra damage here. The Lich, however, wants to blast a Frost Nova, and because of that Lich's Boots of Speed, has been able to easily do it. Now, we can see a couple of bits of damage here, a little bit of damage onto that Lich. Lich going to be in trouble. Unlucky ensnare for Sock, loses a Footman to a Creep, as we're still, well, waiting for these units to retreat back home. Tempoing, both sides testing the waters here. Another Water Elemental being dropped in. Lich and, well, PCG123 bringing in another round of ghouls, fresh hit point ghouls to the fight here. Now that the Archmage is low on hit points, the ghouls here may be able to just run amok, and the Water Elemental has to, well, sit close to this Scout Tower here and try and protect. Lich is getting in some easy kills onto the Footmen here as Militia are being called back over. Archmage has to be incredibly patient as the Lich is at 152 mana and can easily get a nice Icy Blast onto this Archmage in a second. Couple more and more ghouls are getting their fangs or claws into the back of these peasants here as the ghouls are now putting pressure onto the Archmage here. Archmage trying to retreat away. Are we going to see him trip up on anything? No, we are not. And with those Boots of Speed, able to outrun that Lich. Lich down to 165 hit points. He needs to retreat back. Lich gets a level, nice Icy Blast, gets Frost Nova, and may be able to finish off some more of these units as well. All right. Another little bit of attack here, down to 31 hit points. He's going to try and retreat away. He gets blocked by his own partner there, and now trying to hide in the far back. Are we looking at what this Archmage hiding in the back here? We are looking at the expo nearly done, and what we're going to be having is 2 base play going up against, I believe, teching to tier 3 already, PCG123. Alright, so what are Sock's options at this point? He does have the economic advantage with this expo already up. He needs to get it to full saturation, perhaps build an Arcane Vault and a Blacksmith here to help protect that expo. Meanwhile, well, PCG123 cannot just sit back and not leverage his advantage. He needs to get that Death Knight out. He needs to do some early creep or get some more creeping in. He's finally getting his graveyard, and then he's finally going to get his slaughterhouse. He's significantly behind on other parts of the tech, even though he is already teching the tier 3. Only sitting on ghouls and doesn't have his second hero yet. This is going to be a lot of time for Sok to perhaps try and make a play somewhere here, as the Archmage is at level 3, does have Boots of Speed and Claws of Attack +5. Lich is out here on the battlefield. There's a level 2 Water Elemental. Are we going to see some engagement here? The ghouls are all nearby. Lich may try and test the waters and get a blast onto that Archmage, which could be problematic. All right. Losing that heal was critical. Death Knight is getting trained up, and the sudden appearance of the Death Knight may change the outcome of this fight here. Death Knight, Death Coil going quickly after the Water Elemental. One Water Elemental quickly getting denied here. Lich is still seeing that level 2. More damage still getting racked up onto some of those skeletal minions and those ghouls, but apparently they can't they can't focus on a single target, as a low hit point Footman does end up getting Death Coiled down. There's another Frost Nova here. Footman trying to fight inside an undead base. Just absolutely scary. Nerubian Towers, Death Knights suddenly making appearances, and Lich with that Frost Nova able to slow things down. Alright, low hit point Footman down to dead. Archmage gets the deny off again, as Water Elementals are just still getting cleaned up here. Archmage unable to commit to taking down any of these ghouls. Are we going to see a deny? No, we are not. Archmage needs to back away. Yeah, exclamation marks showing denial were a big help for casters. All right, there's that Blacksmith. There's that Arcane Vault. Sok now sitting at 39 supply, going up against PCG 123's 34. But remember, Sok has 23 workers. A lot of workers out here on the battlefield to build that stronger economy. We can see that the keep is done being upgraded. Perhaps we're going to start training up a hero in just a second, as the Archmage needs to use this opportunity and time well. Clearing out some creep camps, getting a bit of additional gold, denying those creeps from your opponent. All of those are important, as we're looking at the third and final hero by PCG 123. Our Sok needs to make sure that PCG 123 cannot get too much momentum. And we're looking at a 22 supply army compared to 34 as we're about to engage. Hi, not from the gym. All right. No judge if you're watching from the gym. Perfectly fine. All right. Guard tower or scout tower getting a little bit of pressure. Archmage trying to bring up more water elementals, put in pressure. There's the destroyers. We're going to see some devour magic, and then going straight after those water elementals already. Level 2 now on the Death Knight. Faster movement speed for the entire undead army, as they're going to try and give chase. Destroyer may be able to get off another devour magic, getting in a little bit of damage again, and there goes a couple of easy shots once more. Water elemental turning into a giant puddle of nothing. All right. PCG 123 in a great position now. Meanwhile, we do see a lot of towers here trying to protect, as the Mountain King is going to be trained up here as well. All right, Mountain King out here on the battlefield. Are we going to see a turnaround Stormbolt? No, we are not. The undead army is just simply too strong right now, as we don't see any arcane sanctums or workshops. All right. Ultra Kings quickly taken down, and Sok is sitting on 1,000 gold with really no way to spend it. No Arcane Vault back in the main base, and well, Sok is pretty much just retreating. PCG 123 is taking the momentum of this game, and well, has used it well. Coming back through here, going to go after this Ogre Magi creep camp, perhaps try and get that Dark Ranger to level 2. Does have black arrows, plenty to go around. Slippers of Agilities and Tome of Agility as well for a little bit of bonus damage again. I wonder if that's on purpose for the undead, to have a strength, intelligence, and agility hero to all work with, to transfer around the items, right? Any of the gauntlets, the slippers, the mantles, all will improve auto attack for at least one of these targets. All right, repairs underway by the peasants to try and keep this barracks alive. There is level 1 masonry upgrades, but it may not be enough. Death Knight, Death Knight still pushing across here. Meanwhile, the Archmage is in the back trying to clean up, but this is all just superficial things here as the barracks is going to get taken down. We're going to get into a position where suddenly Sock has no production buildings inside his main base, and only production building left is currently a workshop here at the expansion. Sock has a lot of work to do. He's sitting on a large amount of gold, and PCG123, even though he's on only one base, is sitting on a similar amount of gold as well. Should be able to come back over the top and retrain up any low hit point units. Lich gonna find an opportunity to clear out some easy creep camps, giving level 2 to the Dark Ranger, perhaps adding in a silence if necessary. Death Knight picks up a Ring of Protection +4. No real train, well, no ability being trained up yet. Dark Ranger, yeah. Siphon Life. I don't remember the last time I saw Siphon Life being used by the Dark Ranger. I know I saw it and was surprised, but at the same time, I believe that undead player or the Dark Rangers still ended up losing. So really, no surprise on why Siphon Life isn't a main ability. All right, coming back through. Lich trying to go after the Sasquatch here. Creep camp should get cleared out. Death Knight should get to level 3. So level 2 Death Coil. Oh, where's the Death Knight going? Death Knight is leaving the party. And, well, more experience for the Lich, who, well, did not get to level 4. So a little bit of mismanagement there. The addition of a level 3 Death Knight would have been a big boost to the overall undead army. All right, what is happening here? Quick Essence of Blight or Sacrificial Skull being placed down. Flying machines going after the Destroyer. Destroyer having wanting no part with those flying machines, but not having any ground to try and help defend. Ziggurats are getting summoned up as well with that Blight now being placed down. As the Death Knight, well, will get to level 3 off of this Water Elemental. Level 2 Death Coil is available. Flying machines, well, not having to really worry about anything so far, as the Archmage and Mountain King takes this opportunity to clear out some creep camps by themselves. Mountain King is just got to level 2. Flying machine still testing here. We're going to see the Enraged Wildkin getting cleaned up. All right, the timing and the pacing feels weird here. These two armies feel like they should be going up against each other because their armies are so close, but they're actually just creeping at this point. Level 4 reached on that Lich. Dark Ranger is very close to level 3 here, as Autumn Leaves does have a lot of these, well, nestled creep camps all across the map. Archmage could be in trouble. Death Coil, Frost Nova, or, well, there's the Frost Nova, there's that Death Coil, and a quick tactical retreat is needed, as there are still some creep camps available here on the map. Flying machines, however, opting to go getting the Bombardment Siege upgrade quickly, is now able to perhaps stop this Haunted Gold Mine. You can see the Haunted Gold Mine is nearly completed, and once it is actually completed, could be destroyed even more quickly because it goes to fortified armor, oddly enough. All right, Flying Machines ending up not finishing the job there, as the Archmage, Mountain King, and Paladin, the human trifecta, coming together to try and take down this Granite Golem creep camp. All right. A little bit of a risky maneuver by Sock, but he knows that he cannot continue to play the same way. His opponent has a massive advantage in terms of hero level advantage, and he needs to make sure he can come back in. All right, Sock's army, 65 supply compared to PCG123's 55. A decent difference there. Mountain King also sitting at level 3, also picks up Endurance Aura. Water Elemental is trying to retreat back. And where are these flying machines next going to be useful? We should be looking at some Knights getting trained up finally, Barracks getting done here, and we're also looking at a Griffin Aviary operating as well, perhaps to try and snipe down these Obsidian statues. All right, second barracks being placed down. So Sock really cranking out all of these production buildings now. 1-0 upgrades on the Knights and the Flying Machines. We should be getting some armor upgrades too. And now the creep camps are starting to get a bit more limited. However, 4-3-3 for the undead going up against a 4-3-1. The paladin only at level 1 may not be able to keep the units alive. And with only a 200 hit point Holy Light. In comes the engagement here. Knight's going to try and test the waters. There's a Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend in the back here. Fly Machines coming back across. The Griffins are going straight after that Obsidian statue, and you can see how much damage that is. Paladin already sitting at level 2, and he's going to be going for a Divine Shield to try and stay alive. Flying Machines going straight after the Obsidian Statue Glue, and to make sure that they're unable to hold this undead army together, as the Knights are now using their Sundering Blade upgrades, finishing off so many of these Crypt Fiends. The Flying Machines and Knights absolutely owning the standing army of PCG 123, and Sock, even though he is behind on hero levels, doing a great job here. Abomination now on the battlefield. Only one Obsidian statue was left. Units are going to start getting Staff of Sanctuary back home, and this is exactly the game that Sock wanted to play. All right, Stormbolt finding Abomination right there. Flying Machine, 5-second stun. Are we going to see that Knight get taken down? He is trying to back away. Unlucky dash onto the Death Knight. Death Knight now trying to retreat back again. There's some more Holy Light. Are we going to see that Knight get taken out? No more Staff of Sanctuary still on cooldown, as the sudden appearance of Siege Engines to try to put pressure on the Expo. Low hit point Knight turns into a skeletal minion there. Both sides still fighting their way through. There's a Death Coil to save, as the Archmage is trying to take down some of these Banshees now. Banshee gets taken out. Mountain King still out of mana here. Lich or Death Coil finishing off a Griffin. Crypt Fiend getting taken down, and both sides are taking some heavy casualties. The standing army of Sock inside the undead base is rather small, but there's a lot more units training and making their way out across the battlefield here. Siege Engines are still putting pressure, and that is that's stopping any of the mining happening here, as the Siege Engine finally magically gets transported away. All right, Fly Machine, is it going to get teleported away? Knight, it should be near enough by, and there goes the tactical retreat. All right. Cannon Tower, siege upgrades there. Meanwhile, Mountain King getting in a little bit of healing. Are we going to get more Staff of Sanctuaries? Yeah, there's another Staff of Sanctuary on the Mountain King. So the Knights, the Siege Engines, and Flying Machines are going to be pressing on into the main base, and then, well, perhaps causing a little bit of problems and issue. Mountain King could turn back around. Nope, gets a Frost Nova. Holy Light. Stormbolt onto a Ghoul. Ghoul quickly getting Dark Ritual denied here as both sides fighting. There goes another Staff of Sanctuary to save some low hit point units. Siege Engines want to roll on in, perhaps put pressure inside the Expo base, as the Archmage could be in trouble. All right, Mountain King has to be careful. He throws down a Stormbolt, finishes off a Ghoul back the other way. Cannon Tower and Arcane Tower, we are looking at Sock running up on 3 bases here, as the Siege Engines are now rotating into position to try and take down this Necropolis. Siege Engines can absorb quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Knight's Sundering Blades going after all of these units. Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. Death Knight with the Death Coil for the save, at least for now, as the Archmage comes back around. All right, Holy Light onto the Mountain King, trying to protect it, as the Mountain King getting forced to retreat back as well. Siege Engines able to take down the Necropolis, and now moving there and setting their eyes onto the Nerubian Tower, that with those cold towers, or with that cold auto attack. Nerubian Tower, one Siege Engine gonna get staffed back again. So anytime you're dealing damage to these Siege Engines, you're Sock, with the cooldown on that Staff of Sanctuary, finally ends up losing 1 after all that time, as the Siege Engine the Staff of Sanctuary cooldown finally comes to an end. All right, Nerubian Tower about to fall down to 48 hit points. Level 3 now on the Paladin, as 1 or 2 more blast onto that Nerubian Tower finally takes it out. Water Elementals are here. Both sides are fighting their way through. Mountain King sitting at level 4, comes back in with level 2 Bash. Lich continuing the pressure here, as the Haunted Goldmine now trying to keep those repairs up. 79 supply compared to 44. but a lot of units are still well, slowly making their way out onto the battlefield and getting trained back up, or perhaps Staff of Sanctuary back home. Ghouls getting cleaned up, Stormbolt by the Mountain King anytime he has mana, taking down a low hit point unit. Archmage does not have a Scroll of Town Portal. Paladin could be in trouble, quickly get Staff of Sanctuary away, as the Undead army doesn't have any mana on that Lich to, well, cause a Frost Nova and slow things up. Back at the base here, you can see 2 Siege Engines ready to roll on out again. Meanwhile, we are looking at more Siege Engines getting trained up. That's where some extra supply is currently hiding, as PCG 123 is operating off of one base here, the main base finally out of gold. All right, as Sock is sitting on 2 bases, he's going to try and build up, move all of his units together, and with the Knights and with these Siege Engines working together, I do not think this Expo will be able to hold. Cannon Tower off in position. It does have that fortified armor. However, Goblin Sapplers doing quick work on that building there, taking down the Guard Tower and that Cannon Tower now. Please make sure your Fox Sister is up and coming down. Coming back around, Ghoul getting taken down after, I believe, a Stormbolt. Siege Engines rolling on over, trying to take down this last Spirit Tower now. Ghouls, Acolytes trying to, well, cause a little bit of a protest, saying you can't get over here. Lich going to be in trouble, gets taken down, and that should be the game. Level 5 now on the Archmage. Lich falls at level 4. Dark Ranger soon to follow as well. And with this Expo falling, so are the chances of PCG 123 walking away with a victory. PCG 123 with a very strong start, putting pressure early on, having the hero level advantage. In the olden days of Warcraft 3, in the human versus undead matchup, if Undead had the hero level advantage going into the mid-game, there was pretty much, it felt like there was no chance. The hero nuking of the Undead just felt like an a dominating hill to try and overcome. Instead here, instead, Sock was able to slowly and steadily rebuild all of his production buildings and choose the right ones. Knights, flying machines, and siege engines to just roll on through, minimizing the effectiveness of those spells against all of the units. Once the Paladin got to level 3, it felt like Sock was able to start hitting a good stride with some strong heals, and then from there take the victory. Let me know what you guys thought about this game. Who won? Human won. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.